Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on this Thursday. We're glad that you've joined us out there wherever it is that you're tuning us in. Our program brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation in Central Alabama Community College every single day. Again, you can comment on Facebook Live. We got a lot going on right now as we come on the air. Alvin Henderson from Elba about to announce where his intentions are to go play. We'll talk about that here shortly. Auburn lands a big offensive lineman yesterday from Williamson High School. We'll talk about that. Scott Drew turns down the Kentucky job, so the list keeps on rolling for Kentucky. How much longer until Bruce Pearl's name really starts being mentioned in this thing? Should Auburn fans and should Auburn begin to worry about that a little bit? On three ranks every coach in every conference. So the Power 5 conferences, we're going to talk about that. Where does Hugh Freeze rank in the SEC amongst his counterparts? And then O.J. Simpson, as we about an hour and a half ago found out, passes away at the age of 76. You talk about a life that was a whirlwind and a roller coaster. Really everything that he did prior to the trial, Randy, was overshadowed and kind of forgotten. But tremendous personality, tremendous sports figure, won the Heisman Trophy, was a broadcaster, played 11 years for the Buffalo Bills, and then everything that went down with his wife and her boyfriend at that time, I guess, and or whatever, however you want to call it. And then him getting away with it, most publicized trial ever. And really never got away from that, and he was not. Everybody says, no way, man, no way. So,
well, you know, when you grew up in our generation and went through high school in the 90s, this was right. It's not that the racial divide was not clear in schools like you and I went to at Benjamin Russell, where, you know, the demographics, you know, somewhat 50-50.
Right.
I mean, you feel it, you grow up in it, you kind of know about it. But it was the one time, and I'd love to get your take, but it's the one time in my high school days, and I'm sure for you as well, that you could sense the racial divide. You could really feel it in the air.
Well, you could felt what was going on in L.A. with the riots.
I'll never forget where I was when the announcement was made.
Won't either.
That he was acquitted for murder. And
I won't forget where I was when they broke in live with him on the chase on the interstate.
Yeah, very, very wild, and he was as recognizable as any athlete at the time. I mean, you can run down the list of athletes now that are on air like Charles Barkley and others that are constantly in your face with commercials. O.J. was that guy back then.
He sure was.
Was always in commercials, always well-spoken.
What was that rental car thing, Hertz? He was a Hertz rental car guy. And
he was as many of them as you could name.
He was in every – he was so dynamic personality-wise.
Great, you know, great way he carried himself, good-looking guy, outstanding athletic figure.
Big-time NBC analysis.
Yeah, so it was wild time and wild talks, and, you know, I can remember the jubilation through the lunchroom I was actually in at Benjamin Russell High School when he was acquitted. And
crazy. You
just think back to those things and you go, gosh.
You know the one.
Not much has changed, unfortunately.
No, you know the one mistake that the prosecution made in that whole deal.
I don't remember all the specifics.
Tried to make him put that glove on.
Yeah.
And
that bloody glove.
Well, it was leather and it was shrunk. And I mean, of course, he took his hand and said, I can't get this thing on, man. You know, this can't get – I mean, his hand was all like he had arthritis or something. He couldn't get his fingers in there. I mean, but once he held his hand up and everybody – they termed that phrase, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. That was enough to put it in that jury's mind, and the defense made a very crucial error doing that because everything else led to it was him. I mean, from the chase to the way he parked the car to the pictures of the crime scene, and it was a crime scene of passion. Is what it was, and I mean the way he I say the way they were both violently killed only leads you to believe that. So, but anyway, we'll talk more about that. He passes away at age 76. Again, awaiting Alvin Simpson's announcement here. I'm going to put my take on it. I think it's Penn State today. I do think at the end of the day, though, when the dust settles.
Alvin Henderson.
What'd I say?
Simpson.
Alvin Henderson, yeah.
Who is Simpson?
Well, I was saying O.J. Simpson.
That's right.
All right, so
okay.
Alvin Henderson, we're not waiting for his – yeah, well, he's not going to make any more decisions. So Alvin Henderson from Elba High School, one of the top run backs in the country, really had a good visit to Penn State. It really kind of seems like it's boiled down to Miami, Auburn, and Penn State. Most all of your pundits out there feel like at the end of the day, before next year, he'll be at Auburn. No matter what he does today, if he commits to Penn State, and he's already mentioned some things in some interviews. He says, I'm going to watch Auburn all year. I'm going to visit. I'm going to be involved. So, today, again, just like all these other commitments, they'll change 2-3 times. But we'll see who he picks here. He should be making a decision here shortly if he hasn't already. I had the feed pulled up, but we're on the air now. And so some of you probably will get that before I do, so we can pass that along. But he is the number 8 running back in the country. Randy, he scored 61 touchdowns last year as a junior. 61 touchdowns.
Trust me, I'm the guy copying and pasting a lot of these stats, making posts for the AHSAA each week, and you could name him for 14 consecutive weeks, Player of the Week, Male Athlete of the Week, whatever portion of the state you want to name him from. I mean, you can name him as the Player of the Week.
Boys dynamic.
In a small classification, he's a man amongst boys. They didn't get over the hump and win a state championship because a couple of those big dogs at the top have some people that if they've got one guy shut down, they can shut him down. But
he just chose Penn State.
Yeah.
So.
And, hey, this could come down to coaching. Cadillac Williams no longer there. Of course, he was a lead recruiter on A-Train for a very long time while he was at Auburn.
Sure was.
And with him not being there, you no longer have that. Does that mean that Auburn doesn't have anyone else that can go out there and do the pitch? Of course they do. They've got them. But Penn State's probably got someone that Alvin Henderson really likes too.
Well, James Franklin.
The exact same pitch.
James Franklin.
Yeah.
James Franklin did better at Vanderbilt than anybody's ever done at Vanderbilt. He kind of brought them up from the depths of what, and very marketable. Got to Penn State and has had a really good career there. I know they haven't really gotten over the hump there, but man, they're right there.
10-win seasons year in and year out.
Every year.
They've got they use the running back big time. They've got running backs in the NFL, and so if you're picking a system that you're wanting to parlay your talents to, that Penn State is a really good place. And James Franklin's always been a recruiter that can go out there and compete with the big dogs, even when he was at Vandy. So I'm not surprised. I hope we get back in the mix. But if we don't, there's other running backs.
Yeah, for sure. I think the running back position right now for Auburn is not imminent. I mean, when you see who with Damari Alston and Jeremiah Cobb, definitely if you keep them around you just never know from one year to the next. You say, you got some stability in a position, but you just don't know from one year to the next now with the transfer portal. But anyway, decides to choose Penn State today. Again, will that stick? They'll have to do due diligence all the way to December to try to hang on to him, man. It's a long time, and a lot of things going to happen between now and then. Yesterday, Auburn did land Card Smith from Williamson High School. 6'5", 285 pounds, the number 15 player in the state in the 25 class, the number 23 offensive tackle in the country. He pretty much said Jake Thornton jumped on him early, and that had a lot to do with it, his relationship with Hugh Freeze. Jake Thornton's doing an outstanding job, Randy, of targeting top offensive linemen and getting them committed, and Hugh Freeze talked about that, and, Card Smith did too. And you mentioned a few weeks ago how this staff is working their rear end off, and they're getting out there and they're in front of everybody, and you're starting to see the results of this. You saw it some last year with a great class, but they're trying to get 8, 9, maybe even 10 offensive linemen in this class. That's how much they want to concentrate on that position. So getting Card Smith to go ahead and pledge coming up was huge.
Well, very much in a need part of the state that Auburn needs to set some roots and be able to go into the city of Mobile and in that bordering communities around Mobile and bring some players in. So I hope he ends up becoming a tremendous offensive tackle at Auburn, but I do applaud the effort of going down south and making sure that you can shore up some talent, because we know that there's some premier talent pools in this state and around the country, but not many are much better than that Mobile region. And we've had success down there in the past. And it would be great to continue to have that success down there right now. Brett, there's one thing, it may sound like at times we're a little negative on certain things, but the one thing you cannot be negative on with Hugh Freeze and this staff is their efforts on the recruiting front from a high school standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to an interview with Hugh Freeze yesterday, and I can't remember exactly which one. There's several that I like to go out there and tune into, and I hope that y'all say the same about our program here from time to time. But this interview with Hugh Freeze had him talking about his philosophy and whether it's going to work or not. It sounded like a broken record with what you and I have been saying on this program for a while. I mean, he truly believes that going the high school route is the way to build a solid program for foreseeable future. Now, he's not positive if that's the way that this is all going to play out. And I think that there's something unique to watch is the way that Lane Kiffin's going in the transfer portal and the way that Hugh Freeze is working the high school front. Which one of those ends up working out the best? I personally, as a high school sports lover here in the state of Alabama, appreciate the high school and guys going and giving high school kids an opportunity, and I think Hugh Freeze is committed to that.
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest task for any coach out there right now, whether you're getting a high school guy or whether you're getting somebody in the portal from one year to the next, can you keep them? That's the first priority is to recruit your own roster every single year. And that's crazy to say, but there is no guarantees of a guy sticking around 2, 3, 4 years anymore. You're going to have to recruit them as hard as you recruit new players. And the coaches know that now, so it's a different day and age. Up against our first break of the show, just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, like this powerful all-new GMC Sierra 1500 SLT. Now available with up to $13,000 off. Purchase the roomy GMC Terrain SLT, discounted up to $97.50 off. And the GMC Acadia AT4 all-wheel drive, discounted up to $8,000 off. Enjoy no payments till the end of summer at Glenn Smith GMC. Over 350 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation, Central Alabama Community College. You can call us 256-234-6221. We just mentioned Alvin Henderson pledges his commitment to Penn State. Will he stay the course all the way to December? We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I think he made a decision because had some good visits and some things like that, and there may be some unknowns at some other schools, but I don't think he ends up at Penn State. So that's just a personal feeling. Scott Drew turns down Kentucky yesterday. It was a little bit shocking, to be honest with you, because it felt like it was going to be Scott Drew. I mean, they approached Dan Hurley. You know, JJ and I talked about this yesterday, and I asked JJ if he thought Nate Oates had been offered by Kentucky, and he said no. He said, no, I think he was on the list, but I definitely don't think they had gotten to the point where they had formally offered Nate Oates or anybody had really reached out to Nate Oates. Now, they may have gauged his interest, but they were definitely looking at a Dan Hurley or a Billy Donovan, somebody like that first. And he made good points on why they do that, because he said, no offense to Nate Oates or anybody else, but he said, if I can get Dan Hurley right now in college basketball, I'm like, Nate who? Bruce who? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's just one of those deals. But now that the list starts to whittle down and you start to look around and people are politely saying, no thanks, we appreciate it, where does Kentucky go at this point? Should Auburn begin to worry a little bit? You got to know Bruce Pearl's probably right there on the cusp of the next person they're going to ask.
I think both of them. I would think Nate Oates, if he hasn't been asked.
Well, he's already come out, though, and made the statement.
That doesn't matter. There's no part of me that thinks that matters.
If he's been talked to is what I'm saying.
If he had been talked to before and he came out and he said it, that's a totally different thing. If he hadn't been offered or really even talked to and just wanted to come out when the opportunity presented itself to tell the Alabama faithful that I love it here and I'm not going anywhere, so be it. But trust me, we had Tommy Tuberville do the exact same thing, and then the next day that sucker was pine boxing his way all the way over here to Auburn. So it can happen. Look, Nick Saban did the exact same thing down in Miami. I'm not going anywhere, and then he ends up at Alabama. So it definitely happens. Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl, if you told me either one of them ended up at Kentucky, I'd say, well, great hire for Kentucky. I don't want to lose Bruce Pearl. None of us do. Yep. And I'm sure Alabama fans are saying the exact same thing about Nate Oates. Which one would be better for Kentucky? I think either. I think either would do a tremendous job at Kentucky. And so I think we just have to sit back and wait. I wish I had more to add to it than that.
Nobody has anything.
But what I'm saying is I'm 50-50 on both of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Well, their names were brought up someday,
I wouldn't lean one way or the other towards that one being a better fit for Kentucky than the other.
John Calipari announced at Arkansas yesterday, had a big deal in Bud Walton Arena, and had a press conference, and he said, "Hey, I went and talked to the team. There is no team." He said, "I mean, that's really crazy." And
yeah,
he said, "Look, he said, I'm not kidding, guys." He said, "I got to put a roster together." He said, "It was me and the lockers." I mean, you got to hope that he can get a few of those guys to stay, but he's got a lot of work to do to bring players in. And, of course, with him going to Arkansas, it's going to garner a lot of interest. I'm sure several of the commitments to Kentucky, we've already seen them decommit, and you'll probably see a lot of them follow John Calipari to Arkansas. So he said that tongue-in-cheek. There's probably a little bit of him that says, "Yeah, I'm a little panicked right now that we don't have anybody on the team, but I'm going to get some guys. Just hold on a minute." But, I mean, I think that's kind of what you got to look at in this world now, is that you got a Hall of Fame coach that just took a new job. He walked in day one. He ain't a soul to be found. Everybody's exited every exit they can in the building. So he's gonna get some guys. I don't know what his team will look like next year, but this is what all of these programs have to deal with every single year from now on.
Still wild he's there to me. The idea that Kentucky, if they wanted to hold on to him, didn't is somewhat a surprise. But Arkansas's got deep pockets, and they've got some great boosters out there that can sway you one way or the other. And you and I grew up in the 90s where Arkansas and Nolan Richardson and the 40 minutes of hell that he created and all of the hoopla around Arkansas basketball. So we know how rabid. And they've been good. They just haven't been.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't gotten to the level that they were then. And now they would like to get back to that level. And can John Calipari do it there where he didn't do it at Kentucky? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I was at Arkansas. I mean, if Bruce Pearl left and Auburn went and swayed John Calipari to be the head coach at Auburn, I mean, you wouldn't be upset, but would you be just unbelievably thrilled?
I don't know. He doesn't have as much luster to his name as he did, say, 10 or 12 years ago.
Absolutely not.
I mean, I think he's made a decision, and like JJ said yesterday, he said nobody's a bigger fan of John Calipari than himself.
Yeah.
And it comes off that way. And he's old school to the point where he's like, all this stuff changing around me, I'm still going to do things the way I've always done them. And, he was asking Kentucky to counter Arkansas's offer, and Kentucky went, "No, go have fun. We'll go find somebody else." And, again, he's probably like, well, screw you. And Kentucky fans are probably, reciprocal in that, because they're like, why are we going to beg for you to come back? The last 3 years, you've gone out in the first round or the second round.
You know what he reminds me of? He has success 95% of the time, but it's not supreme success.
Right.
But yet he's getting unbelievable athletes, and he's got the top talent in the SEC. He's a lot more like Mark Richt. Mark Richt always had great players, always had all the resources that he could possibly ask for.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he was a 10-win coach, 11-win. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying, look, I'd love Auburn to, at some point in time, get someone that consistently win 10 games at football. But I don't think any of us are scared of John Calipari anymore. As long as you've got equal talent, I'll take Nate Oates or Bruce Pearl over him from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah.
Week in and week out. And I would have not said that 10 years ago, and you wouldn't have.
No, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Got some comments coming in. We'll get to them on the other side. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters. Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dable, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 for Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Registration for the 41st Alabama State Games is now open at allagames.com. Join us as we return to Birmingham for an exciting 3 days of Olympic-styled action, June 7th through 9th. There are 24 sports offered and $40,000 in scholarships up for grabs. The Alabama State Games brings a mix of individual and team sports for all ages and abilities, so everyone can go for the gold. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Registration and event info can be found at allagames.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and Central Alabama Community College. It's segment 3, Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, down in Auburn, on East Glen, and in Montgomery. I got some news for everybody. They're going to bring us some food on the 26th, some ribs and some sides.
Am I going to be here?
I mean, I hope.
What day is that on?
It's a Friday.
Well, the Friday you got, look, Scott.
No,
Hardy.
I've got everybody. I mean, they're bringing food
but
for
heads
everybody.
up, we're excited. Scott,
yeah.
Scott Hardy's going to be joining us, not every Friday, but some Fridays moving forward. And a lot of you have grown to love Scott, especially on Saturday mornings where he's here more than Brett and myself are, and we're with him the other times. But Scott will add tremendous knowledge.
I've enjoyed
Auburn
watching
athletics.
Scott grow over the years.
Oh, he's great. He's
really.
He's very talented. He's got a cool demeanor about himself, but he's extremely knowledgeable about some things that you and I act like we're knowledgeable on, but we don't have inside scoops on.
Turn your volume up when he talks, because he's like the DJ at the 10 o'clock hour. You know, him coming to you live from the studio. You know, he's got that cool demeanor. But we got to get to the phone line because our buddy James is waiting on us here on the Eric McKinley Mortgage Pro Hotline. What's up, James?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Man, we're great.
How about, 3 things right quick. Number one, have y'all ever been to Arkansas, University of Arkansas?
I have, yes. How about you, Brett?
I haven't. That's one of the.
And
Go ahead, James. He don't care if I was there or not. Go ahead, James.
The reason why I say that is because when they was talking yesterday at the press conference, and they named J.D. John Tyson Chicken.
Right.
They got Walmart. They got J.D. Hunt Trucking. They got Jerry Jones. Besides Texas, Arkansas got to be the most, and Randy, you hit it on it, the most deep-pocketed school around here, isn't it?
Well, it is, and you know, Brett and I talk about this a lot, and I thought about it when they went and got him. Look how good they are in baseball. Oh, yeah. You know, if they decide to really embrace one sport, then they're in a perfect location, kind of like Mississippi State with baseball.
Right.
To say, look, basketball is our thing. Not to say that baseball is not. Baseball, they're outstanding. They're always in the top 5. But we grew up in a generation where Arkansas basketball in the conference was as strong as anyone in the country, so they can do it again.
Well, I'm just saying, they got money galore, man. And the next thing I'm going to ask you guys is this. I hadn't heard y'all say who sold out in the spring game because I never saw it. It didn't come on TV, so I didn't see it. And then the third thing I was going to ask you is this here. Brett, I hear you and David always talk about they ain't 5 people that got scholarship for the baseball team. So if so many people got scholarship, so if they only got a few scholarships, then what do the equestrian, the horse team get, the swimming team get, the track and field? Do any of them get any scholarship, or are they just paying their way? And I hang up and listen. But talk about the spring game. Who showed out besides Cam Coleman? Thank you.
All right, thank you, James. Yeah, definitely. We talked about that day.
You want to hit that last question?
Yeah,
it's 11. That's a good question. I don't know the answer.
It's 11.7 scholarships.
I know the baseball answer.
I don't know the number, but they're getting scholarships. It's Title IX, so you got to offer. That's why you can only offer 11.7 to baseball, because you got to meet Title IX requirements. Yep. All right, so
you take Auburn women's soccer.
Yeah,
they're probably full ride everything.
Of course,
most of the women's athletics would you guess are full ride?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that without knowing 100%. But
that's your field.
But probably yes.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
But in the difference is. For baseball, and I've said this for the last several days, and again, it's not making excuses, but in this state, Alabama and Auburn are at massive disadvantage in this conference from a money standpoint. Everybody in NCAA Division I gets 11.7 scholarships, but the states that surround Alabama have supplemental income through lottery, through casinos, through whatever, or legislative bills that supplement what they have. Auburn and Alabama both have to use NIL to supplement the scholarships that they divide up amongst their roster, so they don't have to pay to go to school. If you go to Texas A&M or Texas or Ole Miss or Mississippi State or LSU or Florida, well, you're getting a full ride because they've got a program that supplements the difference in the scholarship. So you go in tuition probably free, and then now they can use NIL to pay you. And then you use your NIL for other things. Whereas, and I know it's not all of that happening at Auburn, Alabama, but they don't have as much to go around. So people that thought NIL just put everybody on an equal playing field is wrong. You know, unless you're just overly paying what the other schools are paying, you're still only dealing with 11.7 scholarships, and you're having to divide that up amongst a roster that's got 25 or 30 people on it.
Well, I've used this example. I want to do it one more quick time. You know, I got a very good friend. You and I have a mutual friend that lives over in the Atlanta area. He's got 5 kids. He's very smart. Of course, his kids are. I hate to stereotype here, but most of the time when the parents are really good academically, a lot of times the kids end up very good academically. So all 5 are. All 5 have over a 3.0, and he was bringing this up to me from an economic development standpoint here in the state of Alabama. He said, Randy, do you know how much money I would have to make extra to move my kids to the state of Alabama when all 5 of my kids are going to have a 3.0 or above over in the state of Georgia, and I'm going to be able to send all 5 of them to college free of charge on that scholarship? He said, just put pen to paper. He said, I've done it. Put pen to paper and tell me how much more money I'd need to make to move my kids. And he would love to move back here to the state of Alabama, and you can't do it. So that's just, I know that's an offshoot of what's going on here, but it's the same thing.
No, it is the same thing. All right, tons of comments. I promise you we're going to get to them when we come back and continue to take your calls as they come in. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
"76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community."
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Zaxby's has been perfecting chicken fingers for 30 years, and now we're going to the sea. Shrimp butterflied and fried to perfection, and a perfect blend of Zax sauce and cocktail sauce called Zax Tail Sauce. The perfect southern fried shrimp meal. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's. Zaxby's has been perfecting chicken fingers for 30 years, and now we're going to the sea. Shrimp butterflied and fried to perfection, and a perfect blend of Zax sauce and cocktail sauce called Zax Tail Sauce. The perfect southern fried shrimp meal. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. A couple segments left in today's show, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction, and Central Alabama Community College. Going to get to all your comments. James, I'm not leaving you hanging either. We'll get to your questions. Go back to the phone lines. Welcome in Audie. Audie, what's up?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to know if the running back from Elba had made a commitment yet to anyone.
He did. He committed to Penn State right at 12, but Audie, just don't worry. I don't think that's where he ends up. I mean, just from the feel, and he's still going to be around Auburn a lot. He's going to be in Auburn this fall. There's a lot of time between now and signing day in December. I think you're listening to your phone or your TV there. So
I'd sure like to keep him in state.
Yeah, I mean, I think Auburn would like to keep him too. I don't think Auburn's going to stop pursuing him, and I have a gut feeling he ends up at Auburn when all's said and done.
Well, I hope you're right.
So do I, Audie. We appreciate your call, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, have a good day. And we'll keep taking your calls. Here's some information that James was asking. I'll get to the 8A here, get to your comments. In women's sports, this is the breakdown as it's listed on the NCAA website. Equestrian gets 15 scholarships.
Wow.
Basketball gets 15. Field hockey gets 12. Golf 6. Gymnastics 12. Ice hockey 18. Lacrosse 12. Rowing 12. So forth and so on. Softball 12. Soccer 14. Swimming and diving 14. Tennis 8. Track and cross country 18. And volleyball 12. For men's, 11.7 on baseball. 13 for basketball. 85 for Division I football. FCS football 63, golf 4.5, gymnastics 6.3, ice hockey 18, lacrosse 12.6, swimming and diving 9.9, along with soccer 9.9, tennis 4.5, and track and cross country 13.6. There's your answer.
Well, it all has to equal out. So the reason the SEC and Auburn went away from wrestling because they didn't have the 9 scholarships to be able to equal it out to the women's side.
Right.
The reason that Auburn and Alabama don't have a men's soccer program is Title IX.
Correct.
Because they have to even it out, or wrestling. Yeah, wrestling's the one that I brought up a little bit earlier, and there's a number of other sports that I'm sure that they would like to have. And look, I'm all for Title IX. I think it's helped women's athletics. You and I have daughters, and I'd love to see them have opportunities to move on and play collegiately if they choose so. And Title IX is the reason that they have that opportunity. And but there are some sports out there, if you're wondering why do we not have these anymore, that's the reason.
Ty said, I got a bad feeling about Bruce Pearl leaving Auburn for Kentucky. I hope I'm wrong, but because Bruce has done a great job. Wayne said it's a long way from Elba to State College. In 1984, there was a running back from Fultondale who committed and went to Penn State, never did much there. And then he follows up saying Kevin Woods was that running back from Fultondale. Look, I mean, I don't know where he ends up. Again, just through chatter and just through the feeling, it felt like he was gonna make that commitment today to Penn State. I would say if I were a betting man, I'd bet on Auburn when signing day comes. I may be wrong, okay? Don't go put your mortgage on that, all right?
No, because, and I said this a couple of segments ago. I mean, James Franklin and Penn State and the type of offense that they're selling to a running back is a lot to take in. Yes, that's a long way to go, and Auburn
he's going to watch the results this year, I think.
But Penn State is a tough one to probably win once they've persuaded you to come that direction because how great a recruiter James Franklin is.
Jeff said, guys, I said it before, around here in the Enterprise Elba area, he really likes Auburn, and he still ends up at Auburn. So I got that feeling. I mean, again, Randy makes good points. I mean, James Franklin to be able to come down here, he's able to come to the South and get players. I think he's going to watch, and if Auburn has a decent year this year and they see progress, especially on the offensive line, and you start to see some of these guys. He's close to Card Smith. They communicated yesterday back and forth on social media. At the end of the day, if you got a solid program that's progressing in state, it's hard to get a kid out of state. We've seen that happen before. We've gone to Louisiana, and we've gone to some of these places in Florida and Georgia, and we've been right there. Now, we've gotten some too, but a lot of times when all's equal, they stay home. So we'll have to see. Jim said Mr. Tyson of Tyson Foods got a bigger applause than John Calipari did. I mean, yeah. I mean, he writes the NIL checks. There's no doubt about it. Tony said, I think Todd Golden from Florida should be on the list for the Kentucky job. Somebody brought that up yesterday. I don't know. I definitely think he's a good coach. And he's a young coach.
I agree.
He's got Florida turned around for sure. Was the Mr. Briggs news sudden, or did y'all see it coming yesterday, and who might be in line to take that over? It was sudden for us, for sure. We didn't see it coming. Really like Alvin. Really appreciate what he's done. He'll be there through September 1, so he's still in charge, but will be retiring after that. I don't know. I wouldn't even begin to be able to take a guess on who ends up being the next executive director.
I can't thank him enough for how good he was to Brett and myself. I'll say exactly what Brett just said, no. And, of course, with what we do with AHSAA, you would think or maybe hope that you would have a feel that was coming. And
he didn't let anybody know.
I had no earthly idea that it was coming. And Alvin Briggs, what a career. I'll say that. As a kid growing up in the 80s loving Auburn football, I mean, I knew exactly who Alvin Briggs was.
No doubt about it.
And I knew what a great secondary he was a part of and what a great defense that he was a part of. So, my gosh, to go from Greenville High School to Auburn University to playing for the Dallas Cowboys and coming back and being in education and end up being the first black male to be the executive director for the state of Alabama. I mean, an unbelievable career. And Auburn University and all of us out there should really applaud the efforts that Alvin Briggs has had over his career.
No doubt about it. James, I hadn't forgot about you, buddy. I'll talk about A-Day when we come back. Also, the rankings of the coaches by On 3, and we'll get to that too before we get off. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
When drinking, take a sober ride home, not someone's life. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering, or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Catch a ride, not a buzz.
Hey, can you come get me?
Being buzzed still counts. Alabama has a code of the road, and knowing it helps you follow it. This is a message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here on the show. Just a quick update. The 25, had somebody ask the 25 recruiting rankings, where does Auburn sit right now? It sit 8th in the 25 class with 10 commitments right now. Penn State is 7th, just jumped ahead of us with 12 commitments there with Alvin Henderson. I think he ends up with us, but we'll see. Oklahoma 6, USC 5, Clemson 4, LSU 3, Ohio State 2, and Notre Dame 1. Now, I know it's really early, but Georgia's at 14, Alabama's at 9. Alabama's got 8 commitments. They got 2 less than Auburn right now. But again, the landscape of college football definitely changed when Nick Saban exited. Tennessee's at 13. Just kind of giving you a rundown right there. You and I were just talking about it. Texas at 21, Florida 24. There's some more SEC teams. A&M's at 26. I'll stop there. But there's kind of a breakdown. But there's Auburn, man, up there in the top already.
Oh, the effort's there. The coaching staff has proven in a very short period of time that they're going to recruit the high school ranks as hard as anyone out there. And, you know, all of the things that we have to get on here and say from a negative standpoint from time to time on where the state of the programs are, like baseball. I mean, it's impossible to get on here and talk about baseball and it be positive right now.
Right.
I mean, we just lost Alabama State in a midweek game, and we won, a couple of ball games in SEC play. There's nothing positive you can say other than I love Butch Thompson, and Butch Thompson will get it fixed. You want me to say anything more than that? There's nothing I can add to it. But back to Hugh Freeze. You can't deny the effort that they're giving on the recruiting front, and that's all we asked for with Brian Harsin, and we didn't even get that with him.
No, we didn't. Back to A-Day James on defense, Robert Woodyard, who we've all been waiting to see kind of how it was going to play out. Had a great A-Day game. I think he had 4 tackles at linebacker. Jaron Thompson was your MVP from the defensive side of the ball, the transfer from Texas, man, all on the recruiting sites and the insider sites been praising Jaron Thompson, what an immediate impact he's had on this team from a leadership standpoint, maturity, and physical play in that secondary comes over. Defensive line, Malik Blockton had a good day. That's positive from Pike Road. I think you're going to see that kid have a lot of playing time. Keldrick Falk really played well in the game. Again, on the offensive side, Cam Coleman stole the show. Peyton Thorne was 9 of 14 for 133 yards. It was really not a lot to see there. I mean, he was about what we expected. Walker White's not ready. I think he was
5 of 13.
Yeah, it was 5 of 13. I was going to say 8 of 13, but I think you're right. 5 of 13. Holden Gerner was very vanilla, I thought, and then Hank Brown threw the 50-yard pass to Cam Coleman, but he only had 90-something yards passing, so 50 of it came on one throw. Running backs, I like Jeremiah Cobb. I really like Damari Austin still, too. Looks really, really good. And I thought the offensive line, and Coach Free said, look, we didn't really do a lot. And Luke and I talked about this Tuesday night on Sports Blitz. He said it's going to be the same for Alabama this Saturday. He ain't going to see a lot. But the offensive line looks different. I'll put it that way. You look at them out there off the hoof. Auburn Free said he wants to be a 60-40 run pass offense. So you got the offensive line to do it. You got to be able to throw the ball well enough to be able to run it 60% of the time. So, but that's just kind of a quick snapshot of who did well. I thought, not a lot of throwing in the game. It just clock ran the whole time, so you didn't really get over a ton of possessions. But on special teams, Towns Magoo, the incoming freshman from Auburn High School, had an unbelievable day. Now, again, he's kicking in an 8A game, but he was 7 of 7, and his long was 58 yards. And I know we've got McPherson, who's projected to be a returning starter, but, man, Auburn, once again, deep in the kicking game.
Well, Hugh Freeze even talking about Magoo, and with McPherson being out with the injury and not being able to go in the spring, he just raved about Towns Magoo. Great pickup at the end.
Right.
Ole Miss thought they had him, did have him, and then Auburn's able to get him at the last second. And so hopefully that ends up being positive news for Auburn in the years to come, and I think it will be. He must be confident beyond belief to be really a high school kid. I mean, still should be in high school ranks, was kicking high school field goals only a few months back, and to be kicking the ball the way that he did in front of that crowd in that stadium tells you how talented that kid is.
Yeah, he's got a bright future. Ole Miss wanted him really bad. All right, head coach power rankings according to On3. They just released this yesterday. SEC, I'll start from bottom to top. Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State, 16. Clark Lee is 15 at Vanderbilt. Sam Pittman is 14. Arkansas, Billy Napier at Florida is 13. Shane Beamer is 12 at South Carolina, and Hugh Freeze comes in at number 11. So Brent Venables is ranked at 10th. I wouldn't trade Hugh Freeze for Brent Venables. So he's at Oklahoma right now. They have a better program than Auburn, but I think that's going to be changing hopefully, and I would flip-flop them for sure. Mike Elko in his first year coming up at Texas A&M, they got him at 9, Mark Stoops at 8. I think that's about right. Mark Stoops, a solid head coach here in the SEC, most consistent. Eli Drinkwitz, I wouldn't trade Hugh Freeze for Eli Drinkwitz. I know they had a great year. He's been at Auburn before as an analyst and assistant coach, and tip your hat for him doing what he did at Missouri. But I wouldn't trade him. Josh Heupel's at 6. Lane Kiffin is at 5. Steve Sarkisian at 4. Kalen DeBoer, and coming into his first year, is at 3. We'll see. Brian Kelly is 2. And Kirby Smart is 1. I would have flip-flopped Steve Sarkisian and Brian Kelly, but they're probably looking at longevity in the coaching ranks. But right now, if I had to pick one, I'd pick Steve Sarkisian over Kelly.
Hugh Freeze, 7 to 10 for me.
Sure.
You can have an argument one way or another. I think 11's a little low, but success will knock that number up.
Absolutely.
And with Nick Saban gone, Kirby Smart's still sitting there, a king on the throne, but everyone else is still an uphill battle to get there. And Brian Kelly, yes, he's done a good job at LSU, but he hasn't won anything yet. And so we'll see if he's able to do that before I really jump on the Brian Kelly train.
Yep. Over in Big Ten, again, we won't have time to get to this. We'll save it tomorrow. Randy, you and Scott can run the rest of these down. But Ryan Day at the top of the heap now that Harbaugh is gone. Dan Lanning up there at 3. Lincoln Riley is at 2, now that he's at USC. So we'll see how kind of things all play out. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. I know you and Scott will be on to close out the week. But again, thanks for all the comments, the calls today. Been a busy show out there. We'll be back with you same time, same place tomorrow. For Randy, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. Well, see you tomorrow.